just like that, it's time for our weekly roundup of all the things Lady just ain't gonna do this week. Child, they trying to roll back the clock about 11 years with this Roe v. Wade shit, and it is most definitely what the fuck we ain't finna do. Unless you've been under a rock or perhaps in a coma, child, you know that there was some mayhem at the Supreme Court this week, and somebody fucked around and leaked a draft opinion being written by Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, effectively overturning Roe v. Wade and ending the constitutional right to an abortion. There is so much to say about this. I mean, where do we even start? Well, actually, let's start here so that we are all on the same page. First, this is not just about women's bodies. Lots of bodies have abortions. Second, this isn't just about women or even people who can get pregnant. Lots of people are impacted by whether or not a choice exists to have an abortion or access to contraception. I could say all the things that everyone has already been saying, attacks on women's rights, attacks on women being seen as human and capable of making our own fucking rational decisions. I could say stuff about attacks on poor people because abortion will always be available to some people, and on and on and on. But what I really want to say here is that we're missing some important parts of this conversation. This is about power. The ability to make the rules and shape the rules, and according to what agenda. The conservative movement in this country has been building power for the last 30 years, and they decided that they were going to change the rules and be in a position to make the rules. They targeted everywhere decisions were being made: school boards, city councils, state legislatures, judges, and Congress, and began organizing people around an agenda. Abortion has been a part of the agenda from the beginning. It's a part of the morality agenda, defining who belongs and who doesn't, and who decides. It's no secret these kinds of fucked up laws are organized around gender. And frankly, that's a whole other set of fucked up rules designed to keep some people close to the power and others far away from it. It is not, however, just about abortion. This is about all contraception and all things about reproduction and family. Let's say you have a slip up, like I did unexpectedly a few months ago, with somebody I definitely wasn't trying to have no damn baby with. I mean, Jesus, the sex wasn't even good. Good luck getting that plan B. Now, we're going to be talking about this much more over the next few months, but rest assured, the main thing I want you to know and understand about this whole thing is this. There is a lot at stake right now. And if the message that you get from this one is to just give up hope, you got the wrong fucking message. In times like this one, Lady ventures to see the forest for the trees. In other words, get clear about what's happening, why it's happening, and what's at stake in order to get real clear about what to do about it. In the last year, Lady thinks we got real complacent with a whole bunch of shit. Elections matter, my friends. Who you put in office has and can have impacts for decades to come. Alito was nominated to the Supreme Court by President George Bush. Trump nominated 2 Supreme Court justices who now comprise a conservative majority on said court. So, if you're pissed off about this or a myriad of other fucked up ass things happening in this country, you better make damn sure that this November you don't give your fucking power away by disengaging or not participating at all. The people who want to take your rights away are all fired up and they feeling themselves right now. So let's give them a run for their money. All out in November, and may the odds forever be in our favor. Here's what we want more of this week, though. Number 1, and the only thing on this list, vacation, honey. I know. I can hardly believe it myself. All right, so look, there is a certain joy in planning something for what feels like weeks, and it feels far away, and then before you know it, there it is, staring you in the face like, bitch, you earned the fuck out of this. Your girl finna head out of the office for a luxurious 10 full days. And no, I won't be tolerating much of anything except laying on a beach, reading some good books, and watching all the beautiful Black folk walk by. I won't be listening for anything except the sound of the ocean. Picture me rolling. But do not worry one bit. Lady Don't Take No podcast will be taking no breaks. We have some dope guests lined up, and we are excited to bring you the people you need to know and all the news you can use. We'll have some lovely guest hosts holding it down, so keep tuning in as per usual to Lady Don't Take No podcast. And tell a friend. We love meeting new people. Welcome back to Ladies Love Notes, where we give you all of the real and none of the fake about being, I guess, not so newly single anymore, but dating in your 40s. Well, lovely listeners, I want to tell you that most of what has been on my mind this week and on my heart has been the art of letting go. I'd like to say these are whimsical thoughts, but no, these are practices involved in what it means to surrender. Yes, my dears, I was talking all that big shit in January, new year, new me, but look at the universe like, okay, ho, well, you seem to like a challenge, so please allow me. Well, life challenge accepted. Whether I want to or not, life has a way of giving you exactly what you need when you need it. Let me start off here with some context. I, my dear ones, I'm a Capricorn. And if you know anything at all about us, you will know we hold on until we are good and the fuck ready to let go. We are stubborn as fuck. And besides, we're goats. We climb mountains sideways and shit. And a little hardship ain't got nothing on us. A couple of weeks ago, I was sobbing to my therapist. Yes, sobbing. I was. So much change, I said. I really just need to get some stable ground under my feet, and I am so tired of being the bigger person and the emotionally mature person and the person who can handle bullshit. This was ironic, of course, because therapy is exactly where you go to be a complete mess, and that is exactly what I was doing. In any case, my therapist said, in response to yet another story about the same someone I've been talking about for fucking months, you know how when you're gardening and you pull up a plant? Well, if you don't pull up the whole plant and make sure that you pulled it all up, a root can be attached to a rock down there under the soil, and then next thing you know, here comes that plant again you was trying to get rid of. You're the root attached to the rock. What are you holding on to, and what might it take to really, really let it go? Now, y'all know that shit hit me in my gut. I mean, that's why she gets paid the big bucks. That's right. In love, especially when love ends or comes to some sort of blockage and you need to let go, there are things that we may be holding on to that are just damn hard to let go. And a refusal to let go is often taking care of something that we think we need. When my last relationship ended, we made some agreements. We wanted to stay in each other's lives, and we wanted to be best friends, as we have been for almost 2 decades now. We agreed that if we started seeing someone seriously, we would tell each other first before revealing it to the world. And this man I love, well, we promised each other a lot of things. But in particular, he made me promise I wouldn't break his heart, and I made him promise never to lie to me. Well, let me tell you something. My ex, he was in a whole ass relationship, and I was the last to know. She apparently was also the last to know that I didn't know, but child, that's another story for another day, and honestly, bless both their hearts. And that man I love, well, he did lie to me. At least he tried to, but I think he saw that wasn't going to end up well for him, so he didn't completely follow through on that lie, but nevertheless, he went there. It's the only time hero worship has ever given me anything valuable. I've been all up in my feelings about a lot of shit. I've been up in my feelings about my ex, not the kind of feelings where I want to get back together. That's not it. I don't want that. It's the feelings like, damn, my best friend totally did not follow through on some shit that was important to me and was not honest with me or a few people really, and that fucking sucks. And this man? Feelings. Bruh, haven't we already discussed how you not finna get over on me even when you think you will? So why even try? Why do niggas not understand I am my own Dewey Decimal System? Many have tried and failed. What makes you think you're going to be the first to succeed? Now, this shit with my ex is pretty typical. In my most compassionate self, what I know is that not being honest with someone you care about is taking care of something much deeper than the lie. He didn't tell me because he didn't want me to know. Not because he didn't want to hurt me, but because the real tea was he wasn't really claiming that person he was claiming out in the streets. I mean, we've all been there before. But beyond the streets, sometimes we just don't want to be alone, even if that's ultimately the best thing for us while we get our actual fucking shit together. That man I love, he wasn't trying to play me. He was ashamed and embarrassed about some serious shit I was raising to him. And so he started to lie to me. Mostly, I think, because he didn't want me to think he was a fuck up. I don't think that about him, for the record. And so even though he promised not to lie to me, he started to from a very human place of shame. Didn't mean that shit didn't hurt, like fuck. But hey, what the fuck are you gonna do? Both of these things are ending or have ended, and so has the way that we used to be. My ex, he broke trust with me, but bigger than that, I realized that I have to let go of this notion that we can be besties right now. We can't. He's not ready for that, hence this whole performance bullshit he's doing. And even though we were together literally forever, sometimes we can't and don't show up as our best selves. That man I love who ain't my man, he broke trust with me too, but there's a much bigger story there than that. He's struggling with some shit, and without getting into details, that is a much bigger issue when it comes to the why he lies. And the bigger story from here is this. Both of these relationships are relationships that I need to let go of, for now and for the time being. And I have been that root, holding on to that little pebble underneath the soil, hoping something I want will grow again. I wish my ex and I could have a cool-ass relationship, and I think we probably will one day, again. I'm friends with everyone I've ever been in a relationship with, and that ain't finna stop now. That man, maybe our paths will cross again if he decides he wants to do the work he needs to do, but ultimately and overall, it's time for me to let go. Surrender, if you will, until and unless there is new information that supports me re-engaging again. Here's the thing. Everything changes. Change happens whether you want it to or not. And in fact, it is the only constant in the world. And for us to change, we have to learn to let go and surrender with grace. I'm learning how to let go, how to hold disappointment and sadness and grief that things didn't turn out the way I wanted them to. But ultimately, I also want to invite change. I want to change having people in my life and in my close circles who can't show up for me. You don't have to be the one who is emotionally mature when you are surrounded by emotionally mature people. You don't got to be the one fighting for a thing when everyone around you is fighting for a thing. There's nothing I can do to change other people except change my proximity to them. And so, my dears, that's exactly what Lady is working on doing. Where in your life do you need to practice letting go with grace? Come on and sound off on our socials.